Yeah, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
Well, discussing the issue of unemployment in the country is one of the most frustrating things because when you're talking about it, you talk about people who come from varsities. They don't have experience and they're looking for employment. They don't have experience. And you have been talking about this for a period of about 3 years right now. With your experience with the organization, what have you discovered?
I think the first thing to say is that, in fact, many of our young people don't go to universities, and we mustn't forget that. So as important as it is to address issues of finance in university and throughput rates and completion and people transitioning to employment, in fact, graduates have a fairly good chance of finding employment from universities. But there are actually a vast number of young people in the country who exit the schooling system, don't go to a tertiary institution, but also should and need the opportunity to transition into work. And in our experience, in a way, we have a cohort of young people in South Africa who are full of potential, they're full of energy, and they have a lot of human capital which needs to be unlocked. And we need to be finding the solutions, both in our tertiary institutions, but also outside of that, for our young people to gain skills that are relevant to the workplace and as quickly as possible, really pathway themselves to work opportunities and in work learn and gain more skills. They're not necessarily enough formal sector jobs for everybody. So a lot of the pathways we need to look at are young people moving into some of the critical skills areas, yes, but also SMEs also starting their own enterprises.
But we know the trend has been that when you come out of matric, you're not ready for employment. And shortage of skills would also be attributed to lack of synchronization between the kind of education they're getting and the required skills that could prepare them for mainstream employment. That looks like it's a stumbling block. Is the summit discussing this problematic issue?
So I think my hope is that the summit will focus squarely on this issue. And I think that what we've learned in Harambee is that when you really start on the demand side, when you understand the needs of the economy, when you understand the opportunities that are available in the economy, and then work backwards towards the education system to say, what are the skills that young people need to succeed in those opportunities? And how do we focus the education institutions, the courses, the training, and the interventions that we do with young people, really to match them very well to the needs of opportunities in the economy. And also, how do we actually not make them the most kind of training that they need, but the least? How do we say, actually, there are many jobs in the economy. The only thing I would say that, in a way, is different to what you're saying is that I think there are many jobs in the economy that need less skills than we think. Okay? And then there are some jobs that need a high level of skill. And it's quite important that we make that difference, because sometimes we are expecting our young people to study for many years, only to find that the jobs that are available didn't really need them to study for all of those years.
But the availability of jobs is also a problem, because the process of OJT is not helping, where the synchronization that I referred to earlier is about, if you are studying for a certain course, you can't get the internship that is matching exactly what you have been studying for. You find that people want to do anything as long as they can get an internship stipend. And this is exasperating for young people, because they're saying, why must I go to school?
Yeah, I think that's absolutely right. And certainly what Harambee has found is that young people need line of sight of an opportunity at the end of the studies in order to motivate them to complete their studies, in order to motivate them to apply themselves to their studies. And we have to grow the number of job opportunities that are available. Now there are several ways in which hopefully the summit will tackle this. The first is that we need to look at some of our growth sectors in the economy, and we need to identify areas where we can grow youth labor absorbing jobs. And it's not just internships, it's actual jobs, right? So we need to focus, we need to form business, government, and social partnerships around particular job families where we can grow jobs for young people. Then, very importantly, we need to help young people pathway themselves. They need to make the right investments and choices about what to study and be realistic about the jobs that are available at the other end. And then we also need to encourage young people to be enterprising, because the reality is that there are more young people exiting our education systems then there are going to be formal sector jobs in the economy.
And essentially there's a need for career guidance and counseling to that effect. But just very briefly, with unemployed graduates and youth unemployment generally contributing to the 6 million unemployed youth in South Africa, as you are going to be speaking tomorrow, what are the key highlights of your submissions?
So I think we need very action-orientated discussions. I think that, you know, we have policy frameworks, we have big plans as a country. I think our challenge now is to make sure that we can work to get some things done and to make some progress on some of these challenges. So my focus tomorrow is to talk about a work program that we have been evolving in partnership with the presidency, in partnership with government and business, to say there are a few things that we need to do that in the next 3 years can be breakthrough solutions. Breakthrough solutions around skills for our growth sectors and the critical skills we need. Breakthrough solutions around pathwaying youth so that more people exiting the education system find their way from learning to earning opportunities, some of which will be jobs, some of which will be enterprise. And so we really are focusing on an action work program, and that is what we're going to be talking about when we talk tomorrow.
All right, thank you very much. All your best. Nicola Galombik, who is founder and board chair of Harambee Youth Employment Accelerator, right here on SABC News. In other news, MTN says decision by the United States to reimpose economic sanctions against Iran may limit the group's ability to repatriate cash from its subsidiary MTN Iran Cell. MTN says it remains committed to investment in Iran Cell, but wants to repatriate the balance of legacy cash in Iran. MTN owns a 49% stake in Iran Cell, and the company says it will continue to monitor the situation, including the response of the Iranian authorities. MTN's share price fell by almost 3% today. This year alone, MTN repatriated approximately 1.3 billion rand from Iran, including dividends due to the company. Business confidence dropped in April. The SABC Business Confidence Index declined by 1.6 points to 96 in April. In March, it was at 97.6. According to SABC, this decline was caused by lower merchandise export volumes. In the same period, fewer new vehicle sales were recorded, while the weaker rand exacerbated the situation. For the last 6 months, business confidence kept to levels above 95. The bus strike is dragging on into its 4th week, but a new offer has brought the parties closer to a settlement. The unions have agreed to demand 9% increases for bus drivers in the first year and 8% in the second year, backdated to the 1st of April. This brings them closer to the new offer of 8.75% for the first year and 8.25% for the second, which the employees put on the table at the weekend. The strike has led to long queues at taxi ranks and extended travel periods for hundreds of thousands of commuters. And that's our business. We're going to have to leave it here. It's been a pleasure doing business with you. Ciao, ciao.
Shervin Bricebys, SABC News. Look.
Paul Barber, SABC News, London.
Tebu Mokobo, SABC Ufa Kochamono, Russia.
Neha Punya, SABC News, Saharanpur in Uttar Pradesh in India.
Other than that, I've enjoyed every single moment of it.
SABC News, Soweto, Johannesburg.
You're locked on to the SABC News channel. Thank you for joining us. While the United Nations Secretary General has expressed his concern